What if your organs could be replaced by a 3D printer? Your aging cells could be reprogrammed to be young again, and your DNA could be rewritten for a disease-free future. Not only would you live longer, you'd also live younger.
Dr. Michael Roizen is the Emeritus Chief Wellness Officer at the Cleveland Clinic. He's also well known for his partnership with Dr. Oz through co-authored books and TV. Having done vast research on the aging process, Dr. Roizen believes that in 10 years, life expectancy could jump as much as 30 years. In his latest book, The Great Age Reboot, Roizen says science is cracking the longevity code, and age 90 could be the new 40.
Well, we welcome back to the 700 Club, Dr. Roizen. It's wonderful to have you back with us again.
It's a privilege to be here. Thank you, Terry.
You say that by 2030, 2025, 2030,
10 years from now.
Wow, that there will be an exponential increase in longevity, that 90 could be the new 40.
So what's happened is since about 1870, we've increased longevity by about 2.5 years every 10 years.
Wow.
Initially due to childhood diseases and sanitation, now due to management of things, chronic diseases like blood pressure and heart disease and diabetes. But in the next 10 years, the science is going exponential enough that we're likely to get a 30-year jump. What is exponential? Well, if you take 30 linear steps, you get 30 yards closer to your target. 30 exponential steps, 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, means you're 26 times around the Earth in 30 exponential steps. And literally, that's how fast the science is going in each of these 14 areas. So there are 14 areas of research into the basic mechanism of aging, and we're learning a lot. So the key point is you want to be prepared for it in both your bank account and your body.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit about some things we can do to help that, but talk about the 3D printer, because that's quite amazing.
Yeah, so imagine you could 3D print your organs. So take it when you get your genes and get a structure view, if you will, and then say, okay, I want to print a new liver. I need a new liver. Well, liver is a pretty complex organ. It's got arteries, it's got veins, it's got bile ducts.
Unbelievable.
It synthesizes proteins, it excretes, and it metabolizes. And so they had a contest. This is at Wake Forest and across the country. And Team Winston actually printed a human liver, functional human liver last year. So it was a group of, if you will, students from undergraduate biomedical students, medical students, a whole team, and they printed so we know you can print jaws and tracheas even. But now maybe complex organs.
Wow. Well, you always...
And that's only one of the 14 areas.
Yeah.
You know, so there literally are 14 different areas into aging mechanisms.
You always bring interesting things with you. Let's talk about this creatine.
Right. So when we have a scientific advisory board that helps keep things updated on our website, et cetera. And when we were looking at supplements, someone suggested, and anyone can suggest on the website for us to look at things, that we look at creatine. And when you did it, we said, well, it's a bodybuilding, it's for muscles.
That's what I think of it as,
you know, for 15 to 35-year-old people to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger use it, and even some football players. But when you looked at the data, it's been studied in people over the age of 70, 2 randomized controlled trials that showed that this prevents frailty. It prevents you from losing muscle mass as you get older. So if you're exercising, it's actually a...
kind of boosts what you're doing.
It's synergistic. It's more than just an additive for exercise helps. This helps, and the two together are more than one and one. And not only that, they looked at side effects of it. because you're worried about side effects in the elderly. And so they're looking at the brain, and instead of inhibiting brain function, it actually decreased the risk of dementia over the period. So it's a good thing for your muscles and good for your brain.
So you put this in liquid or a shake of some kind?
The first time, I have a time-restricted eating. I eat from 11 to 7 every day. And so the first food I have is a teaspoon of this and a cup of coffee.
And does your coffee taste the same?
The coffee doesn't taste different, and
really?
It actually, that's how I get it every day.
There you go, coffee drinkers. Speaking of coffee.
So coffee is actually a good thing, too.
Yes, I rejoiced in your book when I read that. I underlined it.
So it not only looks like it decreases cardiovascular disease, decreases a bunch of cancers, 11 different cancers.
Wow.
And decreases dementia and Parkinson's disease.
That and some of these other things that you have here, the garlic, this is an onion, you've got some rosemary, all these do the same thing?
Yeah.
Don't you love the smell? Oh,
so this is rosemary,
awesome.
But the key is 4 smells a day. We learned how important smell was in COVID, but it turns out 4 smells a day actually decreases dementia too.
Really?
In animal models. Now, we think it does it in humans. The studies are early. But if you don't want to do it that way, you can just get one of these smell packs. And
no way.
The great thing is, if I can undo it.
I've got nails. Can I help
Good.
you?
That's right. So.
I see.
And under that is this little thing. So you just push it.
Wow.
Yeah, so that smells lavendery. But in any case, whatever you want to do to get 4 smells a day. So I love the smell of coffee, and I love the smell of rosemary, onions, garlic.
Who doesn't love garlic?
Yeah, right. So
that's wonderful.
But if you don't want to chop them, you can use artificial
So
smells.
what you talked about with the coffee is basically what all of these things do as far as...
Well, no, it's separate. In other words, the coffee is in addition to the smell of coffee, but the coffee has, it's polyphenol, so it works, the black stuff in the coffee or in tea work on your cell, on the basic cell structure to improve brain functioning. So all of these things today we're talking about are brain functioning. Why? Because when you get the reboot, you want all your organs to be as functional as possible. You know, it may be by 2050, you may go in a car wash at 90 at one end and come out 50 at the other end. But for now, it's organ by organ, and the most important organ is, in fact, your brain, I think.
Yes, I agree. And you've got a cuff here, a blood pressure cuff.
Right. You can put it on. I can put it on your.
I didn't take my meds this morning.
Well, we won't measure your blood pressure, but it's so simple.
Yes,
and what you want is the key things for your cardio. I got to turn it off somehow. The key things for your cardiovascular system are knowing your blood pressure, knowing your LDL cholesterol, knowing your glucose level, your body mass index, not having secondhand smoke, and then managing stress. But those 6 things are so key. So one of the things, our blood pressure goes up as we age, naturally, if you will, and it's important to, it's easy, right? And as you said, there are over 150 approved drugs for blood pressure, so whatever it is to get it normal
do something
is key.
to make a difference. Now, we've been hearing about the value of olive oil for years, but talk to us about that.
So this is extra virgin olive oil, and again, it's the colored substances in it have some benefit for the basic mechanism of aging. So what that is the data is pretty interesting. 1.5 tablespoons a day, whether you use it for cooking or on whole grain bread or whatever, or even just eating it that way. Whatever way you want, it also decreases brain aging or helps your... Now, we need NIH to do studies of looking at all the things together, but each of these individually. Same thing with blueberries.
Yeah.
So
rich in goodness.
Yes. So it is an ounce of blueberries a day keeps dementia away, I guess you'd say. But
That's
anyway,
great.
that's a great thing.
Okay.
And one of the others is you want to do
Move. Yeah.
Move. Move is the most important thing. It ends up when you exercise and stress a muscle, you actually you turn on a gene that puts a hormone to the brain that increases your memory center. So
it's not just your
it's not just your
physical body,
cardiovascular
it's
system. It actually turns on a gene. So
brain.
that's one of the basic 5 principles we get to. You are a genetic engineer.
Yeah.
So whether you know it or not, we used to think just exercise was good for the
Yes,
cardiovascular system. What ends up that it turns on a gene when you stress the muscle that makes a small protein that goes to your brain and increases the size of your hippocampus, which is your memory center.
These are so doable. Everything that you have here is so doable. And that's really what your book is about, the Great Age Reboot. So, if you don't do all of them, at least do some of them. What are some of the other steps that we can do right now? And is it ever too late to start? So
my favorite 5 things are, first is change your attitude, because you are a genetic engineer, and it's pretty simple. It's not only that you're doing things that help your physiology, but they turn on some genes or turn off other genes. So change your attitude, really important. You are a genetic engineer. The second one is only eat food you love and that loves you back. So food is like a marriage. You wouldn't marry someone who's trying to kill you every day. You shouldn't eat food that's trying to kill you every day.
Goodbye, fried chicken.
You may love French fries, but they're trying to kill you, right?
Yes.
So on the other hand, avocados, coffee, blueberries, salmon, those are things that are
Plenty
really
of
healthy.
options.
Yes.
Plenty of
so
options.
You want the third one is none of us would do a colonoscopy on ourselves. That is no physician I know. And so you need a team, and you need a team that involves a dermatologist, you need a team that involves someone looking at finances as well, maybe even a spiritual part of the team as well.
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
And the next one is add speed to your body and brain. So when you do jump rope, 1, it's great cardiovascular system, but 2, it's also great because you're doing something intense that's turning on those genes in a very short period of time. Well, it turns out for brain games, crossword puzzles are okay and executive function, but the thing that really improves brain functioning and decreases dementia, decreases cognitive dysfunction over time is what we call speed of processing games. So
you have to do it in so much time.
Right. So on our app that we have that accompanies the book, we have a group of speed of processing games embedded, because what you have to do is do 2 things quickly.
Yes.
And by doing 2 things quickly, your brain hippocampus gets bigger.
And we're out of time, but I want to mention the last one is
posse and purpose.
Yeah.
Most important things for managing stress are having friends and a purpose in life.
There you go.
Thank you for letting me share mine.
Yes, and I want to just reach across you here and show the book, because it's filled with rich info that, we've touched the surface here, but you need to read all of this. It's for all of us. The book is called The Great Age Reboot. It's available wherever books are sold. Thank you. Always a treat to have you here.
Oh, my treat. Thank you.
Wonderful.